Hello, this is Amanda Brummitt with the Working Well and Coppell Committee of the Coppell Chamber of Commerce. Today we're here with Dr. Brad Smith. He's an orthopedic surgeon that is fellowship trained in sports medicine, and he's here to share with us today how he and Precision are working well in Coppell. Thanks for being here, Dr. Smith.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I want to start out with, I know that you're an athlete and that you take health really seriously. So can you start by sharing with everybody what you do to make health a priority in your life?
Yeah, so for me, I think the most important thing is having a plan. I think a lot of people maybe struggle sometimes is they have a general idea, oh, I want to make sure I work out when I get home from work, or I want to work out, this weekend. For me, I have a plan in my mind, and not always rigid, some flexibility, but uh, I joined a hockey league here, so I know. So last night I had a hockey game, so I knew that was my exercise for the day. Um, and then, I know I want to go to the gym tomorrow, and I already have my workout plan. So it's not, oh, I'm just going to go to a gym and just kind of do what feels right. I, have a specific plan that when I go there, I'll do certain exercises, and that way I don't have to think about it. I just need to go, show up, and it's already set out for me. Because I think the more you have to think and plan while you're there, the less effective it's going to be, is kind of how I feel. And that's how I set it up. And I have a goal each week of what I'm going to do and what I'm going to try to accomplish. And that helps me succeed.
Wow, that sounds really, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to plan it ahead of time. I like it. So kind of along the same vein, what's something that you wish everyone knew about their health, and not only that they knew it, but this is advice that they would actually follow?
Uh, I think a lot of people think that, you can exercise your way out of a bad diet. And it's, there is a point where you can, eventually, calories in, calories out. Um, but, at some point your body can only do so much. And if you keep following that strategy, you're going to wear yourself down. You're going to get injured. Uh, and I think it's very important to have a, balanced, healthy diet. You can indulge, you can have I love ice cream, so you can, have a bowl of ice cream every now and then. But, if you're, eating a carton of ice cream and then justifying it by the fact that you ran, a few miles that day, it's a losing battle. And eventually, you're going to wear out one way or another. And then you don't really have a good recovery strategy. So I mean, I would think, and everyone has something. I mean, everyone has, something they enjoy, whether it's, a glass of wine each night, or, like pasta. I think everyone has something that they really enjoy. And the key thing is just making sure you have moderation, and really paying attention to your diet, and, having that work with your exercise plan, and not just trying to do one or the other.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then thinking more specifically about orthopedic surgery or sports medicine, what are some myths that come up in your specialty, and what's the truth behind them?
Okay. Well, there's a couple myths that I see pretty regularly, and especially with sports medicine. And one I'll start with is, a lot of people think that in order to have success in sports, you need to be playing that sport year round. This is most notable in young baseball pitchers, but it can apply to athletes of various sports. And the thought is, if you're not doing it year round, you're not keeping up with the competition. You're not getting as to the level you want to be. But I think rest is very important. And there's been a lot of studies that have come out and have shown that, and it applies to Little League baseball pitchers, and it shows that taking some time off can actually reduce the risk of injury. And I think having that time to rest and grow is very important to the overall development. Um, And, you know, a lot of the athletes who are successful are very well rounded. They're able to, not only can they throw a baseball, they can play basketball, they can swim. I think it's just, and I think overall it's just good to just take a break, give your body a chance to refresh and recover, and then get back into it. And I don't think you're going to see a huge loss by taking that time off. And in fact, most people are probably going to get a huge benefit out of it. Another thing that I get asked out about a lot as a orthopedic surgeon, especially seeing athletes and patients with arthritis and knee, shoulder, hips, is stem cells and whether they're effective. And I think I think it's very common to hear stem cells and, you know, hope that, oh, I could restore my knee that already has some arthritis, and I can inject some stem cells and it's going to recover and become a normal knee, just like when I was 20 years old. And, you know, I hope it's like that at some point. I hope in 15, 20 years that I can do that. And, you know, cause I hope I can do it to myself. You know, I hope there's that solution for my knees. But the truth is right now, the technology's not there. Stem cells are an option for some conditions, and they can show benefit, but it's not going to work for everyone, and it's not going to work 100% of the time, and it's not going to bring it back to being 100%. But it's, you know, it's something to consider and certainly worth a discussion. But again, it's just not a miracle cure at this point.
Okay. So kind of to recap, and what I'm hearing here is there's no miracle for any of these things. So making health a priority, we need to plan for it. Making our nutrition important, that we can eat ice cream, but we can't eat ice cream and then just run it off. We've got to feed ourselves healthy foods to fuel our muscles. That year-round sports are okay, but we need to rest, and that you can't make me feel like a 20-year-old again yet with stem cells.
Yeah. You know, I mean, that's like the, you know, the golden egg or the golden goose, you know, is to, you know, get to just, you know, feel like we're 20 all the time. And unfortunately, it's just not like that. But I think the key is just, you know, I mean, really summing up everything in moderation. And, you know, especially when it comes to exercise, you got to give yourself a chance to rest. You know, the great bodybuilders, the ones that aren't taking steroids, you know, your muscle doesn't grow while you're lifting weights. Your muscle grows when you're resting. So if you don't give yourself a chance to rest, then you're setting yourself up for maybe not getting the results you want, and maybe resulting in an injury that's going to even set you back even a little more.
Makes sense. Well, Dr. Smith, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing how you're working well. And if you ever do figure out those miracle cures, let's make sure that you tell the Coppell Chamber members first.
They'll be the first to hear.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me.